Hello everyone, welcome back to Lab4crypto. Just 2 days before Christmas, and I wanted to make this video to tell you about my outlook for 2025 for the crypto market and Bitcoin, because many of you asked me to make this video. I'm not going to show many graphs and maths as usual, but I'm going to explain you my thesis why I believe 2025 is going to be an important year for Bitcoin and the crypto market, and of course with the usual volatility, not even more this time. But first, let me touch a bit on the latest article that I wrote, which was 5 days ago, which I think many analysts are not thinking about a double top for 2025. So I'm going to explain that to you a bit, and then I'm going to do a forecast for Bitcoin price in 2025, and also why I believe we are going to have an altcoin season, because we didn't have any. And I know that many analysts believe that maybe that was the top and the bull run is going to end, that the dollar is going to continue to go higher, the DXY, so that means risky assets are going to continue to go down. I'm going to touch on all these aspects in a bit. But first, if you like the video, please give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. And also, do not forget to put your email here. I'll have a link in the description below, which you're going to receive my weekly quant analysis, which is free. It's just my ideas and how I navigate the market. And I think it will be helpful for 2025, because as I said before, I think it's going to be one of the most important years of our generation. In my latest article, I said that Bitcoin performance for 2020, especially after elections, was following very well what is happening on the ROI of Bitcoin in 2024. But now we saw Bitcoin basically is a bit flat. So if I see Bitcoin do a huge gain, let's say a huge upside in the end of 2024, I think it's going to strengthen my conviction about a double top in 2025. Because do not forget, also in the previous article we saw that basically in all election years, which you will see are highlighted with the blue box, Bitcoin always had a green December. So it remains to be seen if in the next 7 days Bitcoin will pull up again in green December. But of course, we will see, because do not forget, 2 days ago we had a dip in the markets because there was a flash of the excessive leverage, which for me that was a good thing. We saw Bitcoin basically recover almost in the same day. But of course, altcoins, some of them had losses of 20 or 30%. And that is business as usual for altcoins, because altcoins tend to outperform Bitcoin when their time comes, when we have altcoin season. Now you can tell me when is that? And actually an easy way to visualize that is using the altcoin season index, where you will see that when this red line, which is the 90 days, let me explain first what is altcoin season. The altcoin season index determines if the top 50 altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin in a window of 90 days. So if we check recently, we saw only an altcoin season for the last, we started on the December 2nd and actually ended on December 8th. Therefore, you will see that we only had an altcoin season for 6 days, which basically it was nothing. And many of you that you are in the market, you saw many altcoins do 4x, 5x, double in a day. And that is what altcoin season is. But because altcoins are speculative assets more than Bitcoin, which in my opinion Bitcoin is not, but it's how the general market thinks about Bitcoin, there is these periods where you see this red line be above the purple one, When that happens, we have altcoins do significantly high amount of gains. So imagine Bitcoin. See, this is Bitcoin price, for example. You see Bitcoin price to be basically steady between February 2021 until May. And in that region, when you see this red line to be so high above the purple one, that means at that period, altcoins were doing amazingly. So they were pulling out 5, 10, 20, 100x, some of them. But of course, after that, I'm sure for people that lived the 2021 drop in altcoins, basically what happened, altcoins and Bitcoin dropped in the summer. So for example, Bitcoin for reference was 63K and dropped all the way down to 29. And then again in November, it went to 67K. So it surpassed its previous all-time high in April. But what is the uniqueness of the second top on 2021? Altcoins have not recovered. So we had an altcoin season for a period of, let's say, it started officially on March of 2021 and ended in June, for example. Therefore, the reason that I wrote this article, I think we have a high amount of similarities between 2021 and now 2025 as we enter 2025, because we use the data from 2020, which again we had similar ROI for Bitcoin, especially after elections. And also if you check the return of investment for Bitcoin and compare it with previous cycles, you will see that we're basically following the previous one very, very closely. So what happened? And we had this double top in 2021 for people that they do not remember. Basically, there was an SEC filing which we saw Tesla bought a huge amount of Bitcoin in anticipation of accepting Bitcoin for the Tesla cars purchases, and that accelerated the market huge because it was the first big company which was accepting Bitcoin for payments, and that resulted in Bitcoin having its first top, then stabilizes the price of Bitcoin, and we had altcoins do this huge amount of gains that I'm sure many of you heard in 2021, which I'm using only the 2021 example because I think is the closest one to what we are expecting now. And also for people that are following the last month, I'm sure you saw many altcoins, for example, like ADA, like AI coins, gaming coins, do 4-5x in that 1 week period, and then dropped because we were not in altcoin season. That is why it's crucial to see this line, and when you're starting to see this line catching up as we enter 2025, it's wise, in my opinion, to gear up for altcoin season in 2025. Now you will tell me why you believe there's going to be an altcoin season in 2025. And I will explain you my reasoning. Altcoins is an asset class, let's say, which is driven by retail investors, retail people. Because now Bitcoin and Ethereum becoming more institutional assets, you have ETFs, so the game is changed for these assets. And the reason is simple actually, because the liquidity is low. For example, for BlackRock to enter an altcoin, which has a market cap of 500 million, for example, for them is nothing because they want to enter and exit, and for their clients as well, easily. That is why you see altcoins to be driven from retail, and the risk for this asset is higher as well. but also the returns. That's why you need to be very, very precise, and let's say to follow closely what you are doing with altcoins, because some of them will drop to almost zero. You will see them in bear markets drop by 99%, and even big market cap, high market cap coins, for example, like ADA or like Polkadot, they have dropped 98% from their all-time high, which I know it's a lot. But if you manage to time this period and prepare for it, this is, I think, you can generate generational wealth in this period. Of course, you can do that also with Bitcoin, but Bitcoin starts the bull run when the bear market ends. For example, as I showed in, I think my previous short, I showed our first post in Lab4crypto, which I shared why I believe Bitcoin bottom was on 16K, with the, of course, with equations and not just guessing. And that was amazing. You can see here how beautifully Bitcoin bounced on the equation that we found for the bottom for Bitcoin. But anyway, that is a video for another time. And my point is that Bitcoin already did almost 5-6x from the bottom. And I know when retail investors come into the market in 2025, they're going to think that Bitcoin for them, it's expensive, that train is sailed. And I understand them in some sense, because if you try to enter Bitcoin when the price of Bitcoin, for example, is 100K, based on my assessment at least, Bitcoin price is going to be close to 180 to 200K by the end of 2025. For example, let's assume that the top is going to be November 29th, just for example, because my mouse was there. The green line, the 2 standard deviation line, tells you where I expect Bitcoin top price will be if that day was the top for Bitcoin. And the price is 202K. And if that it's a bit earlier, that changes 196, 183 on August, for example. And that is why the markets are dynamic and you need to follow them all. I think 2025 maybe is the year that you need to get serious about the market and have tools to guide you, because first you are going to lose your mind, because again, for example, when the dip of Bitcoin was from 99K to 92 recently, we saw people panic and exiting the market without having tools to let them know where we are in the market. For example, the people and our users in the premium channel, we were didn't exit the market. Basically, we said, okay, that actually it's a gift, because we know where the market is going to be in 2025. Because believe me, no one knows exactly what's going to happen today, tomorrow, or the day after in the market. Our goal basically is to know where the market is going the next 6 months and the next 1 year. Pick the right coins, understand the market dynamics. For example, now we were in, you see the market is split in altcoin season, where basically altcoins are starting to catch up, but Bitcoin is more dominant. And then we have the altcoin season. So you need to follow these steps to be able to maximize your gains. And for me, actually, I don't care, to be honest, about where we are in the season of either Bitcoin or in the middle or altcoin season. But most of the times I'm following our risk metric, which basically I check the risk and I calculate the risk of each asset every day. And I get an understanding if the asset that I'm checking is basically in a region which it's risky, and therefore it's good for me to reduce my allocation and therefore reduce my risk. For example, you will see that when XRP price was at 2.7. Our risk metric was 93%, then 100, signaling that it's a good time for you to maybe take some profits. Because do not forget that the reason that you are in the market is to make your life better, take your profits, go buy something that you need, do something that is good for you and your family, and do not just hold forever, because you will be surprised that the people that tell you hodl Bitcoin forever, basically we can see that actually whales are selling, and they are selling heavily when the time comes. You will see that, for example, let's see the ranges, which I think is going to be easier. For example, you see people that hold between 1 and 10 Bitcoin, their number is reducing because they took some profits. For example, again, people that hold between 10 and 100 Bitcoin, already you will see their holdings as Bitcoin was moving to 100K be reduced. For example, the addresses that they are holding between 10 and 100 Bitcoin was 136K, and now it's just 134. So you'll see more than 2,500 wallets basically reduce their allocation on Bitcoin. My point here is that everybody is taking profit when they need to, and if you need to, go and do it. Do not think that the markets are going to go up forever. They will not, and that is why you need to monitor your risk. If you have an altcoin which you are 5, 10x, whatever, above your entry price, is wise to take your profits, take some of the table, and this is what I do. And actually I show each of my trades in our Telegram Premium channel, so people will see what I do. That does not mean that you need to do it. It's not a financial advice, but some people find it helpful to see how I navigate the market, because believe me, every day I go and watch 1,000 graphs, which you guys also can do it, because this is Lab4crypto platform. It's a tool to help us understand exactly what's happening every day to the market, and also the first of its kind quant tool, which basically we monitor the risk for various assets every day. For example, you will see also Curve, which we recently added to the platform, which it's helpful for people to understand what is the risk of the asset you are holding, and the values are between 0 and 100%. And as you are closer to 100%, that means it's wise for you to take some profit. Now, let's go to my outlook for 2025. Bitcoin, for me, without a doubt, has a high probability to go above 180K. We are above the FOMO level. As you'll see, the FOMO level for Bitcoin is 65K, which that means we are in a region which people with a slight less increase in Bitcoin price, they're starting to feel this fear of missing out, and they coming in a cascade, let's say, of people wanting to get some, because they're going to think that the price is going to go up forever, and therefore it's good for them to have some allocation. And especially that happens we saw many headlines with countries, institutions, with ETFs. You will see that basically BlackRock is one of they hold 553,000 Bitcoin, and we saw on December 21st, for example. And you will see this line always going up. This is something that have started from January 11th. And when you're having companies like BlackRock to be so bullish on Bitcoin, then it's good for you to start thinking why these people are advocating to hold Bitcoin, and why it makes sense. But it's good for you to make your research and do your research and understand why. You will see that below of each of our models, you will find a video which I explain what you are looking and how you can use it actually and get an understanding of the graph that you are seeing. But my point is that the reason that I believe Bitcoin has a high chance to have a double top in next year is twofold. Because I think the fact that we're going to have a new president, which is crypto, let's say, friendly, that means will increase speculation. People are going to think that everything is going to change. We're going to start to see FOMO in AI, in crypto and various crypto assets with expectation for them to do 5, 10, 20x. And then they're going to realize that it's a process that takes time to bring all this regulation, make strategic reserves. It's not something that you do immediately. And therefore we can have it dropped in summer and then starting to have a catch up in Q4 of 2025. And the reason for that is because I think the effect of the monetary policy now with the reduction of interest rates is going to start to get effect as we move in 2025. I don't think the effect is going to be visible in Q1 of 2025, but it depends on the country. For example, here in my country, Cyprus, they already voted to reduce the interest rates by 1% for mortgages. So therefore, it's going to be an amount released from the budget of, let's say, household, which now these people, they're going to be able to invest this amount in any asset class that they want, but some of them are going to end up in crypto. Because for example, when you had your mortgage to be 100, let's say 1K per month, with the increase of the interest rates, it went to 2K, but now that it's going to drop, and let's say it's going to be 1.8K, then 1.6, 1.5, you're going to have this amount to be released from your household, and either you're going to go for vacation or for people that they like investing, they are going to be able to invest, and some of that money are going to end up in crypto. And because people are going to think that Bitcoin is expensive, and for example, if they are watching my videos, for example, they're going to say, okay, Theo is saying that there is only 1x left, 2x left for Bitcoin, so from 100K it will go to 200. Just I'm rounding up numbers. That means it's not going to bring life-changing money to me. So it's better for me to speculate a bit more and go to altcoins. And this is what I think is going to happen. And that is why I think we're going to have this second top in 2025. Of course, I could be mistaken. And anyway, my initial plan is that Bitcoin top will be in November 2025. But as I said, markets are dynamic and we need to check them. You will see many analysts say that it's going to be by the rumor selling news event as we have the new president in the US. So as we get closer to that day, we're going to have a huge dump in the market. And that is something that happens in crypto. You'll see that usually in a bull run of 1 year, we have 4 to 5 drops of almost 20 to 30%. And this is something that no one will be able to anticipate beforehand. So that is why it's wise for you to check your risk, do a rebalancing. For example, if you have assets that the risk is a bit high, and let's take an example, this is curve, and you'll see that, okay, I was able to enter when the risk was 13% and the price of curve was 23 cents. Now is 82, it was 1.2, therefore you are already 5-6x up. Then it's wise for you to take some profits and be ready to deploy if there is not going to be any drop and the market is going to continue to go up. Now you will tell me how I will know. People can use two ways. Either they are going to increase their risk and start allocating some altcoins from now that they saw this line starting to reverse, or they are going to wait for a confirmation and see this red line go above the purple one. So you can stick, for example, to BTC until you are sure that we are in altcoin season and you get a confirmation, or either you are going to starting to allocate to your favorite altcoins. For example, I think in the Telegram Premium, I have a list of 21 coins that I believe they are going to do really well. I think sectors like DeFi and AI are going to perform very, very well in 2025. But as I said, the markets are dynamic. With the equation that I created, which is for me to be able to understand where the market is going, I think that the total crypto market cap will reach valuations close to 11 trillion in November 2025. So imagine now we are at 3.4. So we have 3-4x to go to just touch the red line, the green line. Because if we check the previous cycles, you will see the blue line. Let me hide some lines so it'll be more visible for you. So basically the red line is the fair value of the total crypto market, let's say, which the equation, you can find it here as always. Because as I said, what I'm saying is based on equations and not speculation. Yeah, it's here, the equation. And also I gave the parameters so you can check it by yourself and do the fitting. And what you will see is that when we are in bull runs, we tend to go above the green line, because this is the bubbles. This is where Bitcoin and the total crypto market leaves its power line regression and goes to the exponential phase, which it exponential increases for 1 year, and then there is an exponential decrease for 1 year. And then it stabilizes again close to the power line, with the power fit line, which basically is the red line. And now you'll see that 2 times we got rejected from the fair value. But I think when we go above this red line, we're going to touch at least the green line. That is why I said I expect the total crypto market to reach values of 11 trillion in November 2025. Of course, it can go higher, and everybody here is going to be more than happy to have valuations higher than that. But our job is to find the base case, so build our portfolio wisely and prepare for that period. So, hope I explained you my outlook for 2025. I feel that we're going to have a very good year in 2025 with Bitcoin reaching values close to 200K, and we're going to have an altcoin season, because basically from the bear market that we had in 2022 when Bitcoin was 16K, since then we didn't have a sustained altcoin season. You will see usually altcoin seasons are lasting between 3 to 5 months. You'll see this red line above the purple one. But if we come to the recent 2 years, you will see we only briefly went above it, and then we got rejected basically. And Bitcoin was outperforming basically altcoins. But when we reach this period where this red line is above the blue line for 3 to 5 months, imagine that some altcoins, they were only 3-4 days above the purple line, and we had altcoins do 5-4-6x in just a couple of days. So that is the power of altcoin season. But you need to be careful. Do not FOMO into projects that you don't understand. Follow good projects, because when you follow good projects and you thought that the altcoin season started and it did not, your probability that this coin is going to do well when the altcoin season comes, it's higher. And you are not going to freak out if you see that coin going lower when there is a dip in the market. So be careful. Use any tools that you find helpful for your journey, either us or other platform, because the goal in the end is for all of us to do good in 2025. Merry Christmas to everyone, Happy New Year, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. Until next time,